The doorbell pierced the quiet night like a scream, jolting me from the couch where Chelsea and I had been tangled in a rare moment of peace. I opened the door to find my brother-in-law Mark drenched in rain, his eyes wild with desperation, begging for a place to crash after my sister kicked him out for good. But as he stepped inside our modest Seattle apartment, carrying the weight of his failed marriage, I never imagined he'd become the catalyst that would force Chelsea and me to confront the fragile web of lies we'd spun to protect our love. Charlotte, that's me, had always been the family's black sheep, the one who moved across the country to escape the suffocating expectations of our conservative Midwest roots. I'd met Chelsea 5 years ago at a coffee shop downtown, her sharp wit and unapologetic laugh drawing me in like a moth to flame. We built a life together, quiet and hidden, because coming out meant risking everything. Family rejection, career sabotage, the judgmental stares in our supposedly progressive city. Mark's arrival shattered that delicate balance. He was straight as an arrow, a former high school quarterback turned salesman, oblivious to the undercurrents in our home. Or so I thought. That first night, as rain hammered the windows, Mark slumped on the living room floor with a beer in hand, spilling his guts about the fight with my sister Emily. She thinks I'm cheating, Char. Can you believe it? Me of all people. His voice cracked and I nodded sympathetically, glancing at Chelsea who hovered in the kitchen doorway, her arms crossed tightly. Inside my mind raced. What if he stays too long? What if he notices the way Chelsea and I look at each other, the subtle touches we can't help? The fear gnawed at me, a constant whisper that our secret wasn't safe anymore. Chelsea pulled me aside later, her whisper fierce in the dim hallway. How long is this going to last? We can't afford to slip up. Her eyes, usually so warm, held a storm of worry. I reassured her, but doubt crept in. Mark was family, blood tied to Emily, who already suspected something was off about my perpetual single status. If he pieced it together, word would spread like wildfire back home, igniting the powder keg of disapproval I'd fled. Yet turning him away felt wrong, morally, ethically. He was broken, and I was his only lifeline in this city. The decision to let him stay weighed heavy, a choice that felt like trading our peace for obligation. Days blurred into a tense routine. Mark slept on the pull-out couch, his presence a constant reminder of the world outside our bubble. He'd make small talk over breakfast, complimenting Chelsea's cooking with that charming grin of his. You're a keeper, Chel. Char's lucky to have a roommate like you. Roommate. The word stung, a necessary facade we'd maintained for visitors. But each time he said it, Chelsea's jaw tightened, her internal turmoil mirroring mine. Why do we have to hide? She seemed to ask with every glance. Because society isn't ready. I'd think back, remembering the slurs thrown at pride parades, the job listings that vanished when resumes hinted at queerness. One evening, as Mark scrolled through his phone, he casually asked about my dating life. You seeing anyone, Char? It's been ages since you mentioned a guy. My heart pounded. Chelsea froze mid-sip of wine across the table. I forced a laugh, deflecting with a vague, work keeps me busy. But inside rage simmered. Why couldn't I just say it? Tell him about the woman who made my world spin, the one I'd choose over anyone? The moral quandary twisted my gut. Honesty could heal, but at what cost? Betraying our secret might protect Mark from his own ignorance. Yet it risked everything we'd built. Chelsea confronted me that night in bed, her voice a hushed torrent. We can't keep this up forever. He's going to figure it out. Her words echoed my fears, amplifying the internal conflict. I wanted to scream that family shouldn't force us into corners, that love like ours deserved light, not shadows. But the pressure from home loomed, Emily's calls probing about my lifestyle, the subtle hints of disapproval. Mark's stay was testing our resolve, pushing us toward a breaking point. As weeks passed, small cracks appeared. Mark noticed our shared laundry, the way we finished each other's sentences. One afternoon, he joked about our sisterly bond, but his eyes lingered too long. Panic surged through me. Was this the beginning of betrayal? Not from him, but from ourselves for not standing firm. The societal weight pressed down, reminding me of friends disowned, careers stalled. Yet, in quiet moments, Chelsea's hand in mine fueled a spark of defiance. Maybe this invasion was the push we needed. But the cost felt insurmountable. Mark's desperation evolved into dependence. He lost his job, drowning in self-pity, and our apartment became his sanctuary. Chelsea's patience frayed. She'd retreat to the bedroom, her mind a whirlwind of resentment. Why sacrifice our happiness for him? She'd think, the moral dilemma clawing at her. I felt torn. Loyalty to family clashing with devotion to her. One night, over dinner, Mark confessed his suspicions about Emily's infidelity, tears streaming. I need you guys. You're all I have. Guilt flooded me, but so did anger. At the system that made our love a secret, at the prejudices that forced these choices. The tension peaked when Chelsea snapped during an argument about space. This isn't a hotel, Mark. Figure your shit out. Her words hung heavy, revealing the strain. He looked hurt, confused. Inside I battled. Defend her or smooth things over. The decision haunted me. A preview of larger betrayals to come. As File 1 ends, the storm brews, unspoken truths simmering beneath the surface. The air in the apartment thickened like fog over Puget Sound. Every conversation laced with unspoken accusations. Mark's presence had morphed from temporary inconvenience to a looming threat, his oblivious comments chipping away at our facade. Then came the night that shattered the fragile peace. I caught him rifling through our drawers, searching for something, proof perhaps of the life we hid. Char, I didn't mean to pry, he stammered when I confronted him, his face flushed with guilt. But the damage was done. He'd found an old photo album, snapshots of Chelsea and me at a discreet getaway, arms around each other in ways roommates never were. The betrayal hit like a punch, family invading our sanctuary, forcing a confrontation we dreaded. Inside my thoughts spiraled. How dare he? Yet, part of me understood his curiosity born from loneliness. The moral tightrope stretched thin. Forgive and hide deeper, or expose and risk explosion. Chelsea exploded when I told her, her voice rising in the kitchen. That's it. He has to go. Her eyes blazed with fury, the internal storm she'd suppressed finally breaking free. I hesitated, torn between her and the blood tie to Mark. He's family, Chell. We can't just abandon him. The words tasted bitter, a choice that felt like sacrificing her for them. She stormed out, leaving me alone with the weight of decision. Why must love like ours come with such prices? I pondered, the societal prejudices echoing in my mind, the whispers at family gatherings, the laws that still lagged behind acceptance. Mark apologized profusely the next day, claiming it was an accident while looking for a charger. But doubt seated deep. Was this ignorance or malice? His straight-laced worldview clashed with ours, a microcosm of the broader society's blind spots. Chelsea withdrew, her silences heavy with resentment. In her mind, the betrayal wasn't just Mark's. It was mine, for not protecting us fiercely enough. The pressure built, family expectations pulling me one way, our love the other. A call from Emily escalated everything. How's Mark doing? You two getting along with your roommate? Her tone dripped with suspicion, hinting at rumors she'd heard. Panic gripped me. If Mark told her anything, the fallout would be nuclear. I lied smoothly, but inside the moral conflict raged. Deception protected us, but at the cost of integrity. Chelsea overheard, her face paling. We're living a lie because of them. When does it end? Her question haunted me, forcing a reckoning with the choices we'd made. We argued that night, voices low but intense. I can't keep pretending, Chelsea whispered, tears welling. It's killing me. Her vulnerability cracked my resolve. I'd chosen this life with her, yet family chains held me back. The dilemma tore at my core. Betray blood for love, or lose her to the shadows? Society's lens magnified it all, the judgmental eyes, the lost opportunities, the internal shame we'd internalized. Mark sensed the shift, trying to make amends by cooking dinner, his attempts clumsy but sincere. I appreciate you both, he said, unaware of the minefield. Chelsea forced a smile, but her thoughts screamed. How much longer? The tension simmered, small confrontations building. One evening he asked about pride flags he'd seen downtown. What's that all about? Innocence or probe? I deflected, but Chelsea's glare said enough. The internal pressure cooker hissed, ready to blow. As days dragged, Chelsea confided her fears. What if he outs us? Loses his temper like Emily? Her words unearthed my own terrors. the family disownment, the social ostracism. Yet, Mark showed glimpses of growth, questioning his own biases after a news story on TV. "Never thought about it that way," he muttered. Hope flickered but caution won. The moral quandary deepened. Educate him, risking exposure, or evict, betraying compassion? The breaking point came during a heated discussion about marriage. Mark lamented his failed one, then turned to us. "You two seem so in sync. Ever think about settling down?" The irony burned. Chelsea excused herself, leaving me to navigate. Inside I screamed, "Yes, with her." But silence prevailed, a choice that cost pieces of my soul. The societal weight crushed, reminding me of friends who'd lost everything for truth. The ultimatum hung like a guillotine, Chelsea's words echoing in my ears as I stared at the ceiling that night. Mark had to go, but evicting him felt like severing a limb. Family ties ran deep, twisted with guilt. Then, in a twist that gutted me, I discovered Chelsea had been confiding in an old friend online, venting about our struggles, risking our secret in a moment of weakness. The messages on her laptop glared back at me, accidental discovery during a late-night work session. "I love her, but the hiding is suffocating," she'd written. Betrayal surged hot through my veins, a mirror to Mark's earlier intrusion. How could she? My mind reeled, the moral irony stabbing deep. We'd preached caution, yet here was the crack. Confronting her meant admitting my own snooping. A cycle of distrust born from societal pressures that forced us underground. I waited until morning, the apartment silent except for Mark's snores from the couch. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady despite the turmoil. Chelsea's eyes widened, guilt flashing. "It was just venting, Char. I didn't name names." But the damage festered, the friend could connect dots, spread whispers. Inside I battled. Forgive, understanding her pain, or demand change, risking our bond? The family shadow loomed larger, Emily's influence seeping through Mark, amplifying our isolation. Mark, sensing the chill, tried bridging gaps. "Everything okay?" he asked over coffee. His concern felt genuine, but paranoia whispered otherwise. Chelsea avoided him, her internal monologue a storm. "He's the root, but am I complicit? The societal prejudices fueled it all, the expectation of normalcy, the moral judgments on our love." We attended a discreet support group that week. Anonymous faces sharing similar horrors, disownments, job losses. It awakened something in me, a fire against the system, but doubt persisted. Emily called again, pressuring for updates. "Mark says you're acting weird. Anything I should know?" Her words dripped accusation, forcing another lie. The cost mounted, eroding my spirit. Chelsea and I clashed later, voices rising. "You betrayed us," I accused. "And you let him stay," she shot back. The confrontation exposed raw wounds, decisions haunted by what-ifs. Moral lines blurred. Was her outreach wrong, or a cry for help? As tensions escalated, Mark overheard a snippet, piecing puzzles. "Are you two together?" he asked one evening, voice tentative. The room froze. Denial tempted, but Chelsea's defiant stare pushed me. "Yes," I admitted, heart pounding. His reaction, a mix of shock and confusion, mirrored society's. I had no idea. No judgment yet, but the seed planted. Inside, relief warred with terror. Freedom's price was exposure. The fallout rippled. Mark processed, asking questions that probed deep. How long? Why hide? His curiosity felt invasive, yet honest. Chelsea engaged warily, her thoughts racing. Is this ally or enemy? Family pressure intensified. Emily texted demands for Mark's return. I refused, choosing sides at last. The sacrifice stung, potential estrangement but necessary. Betrayals compounded when Chelsea's friend replied supportively, but hinted at sharing with others. Panic ensued. "We have to come clean," Chelsea urged. The moral dilemma peaked. Risk everything for authenticity, or retreat further. Society's chains chafed, stories of outed couples losing homes, friends echoing in my mind. Mark's awakening surprised. "I get it now." Emily wouldn't understand. His words offered tentative alliance, but trust wavered. A family dinner loomed via video, Emily probing. We dodged, but cracks showed. Inside, I questioned every choice. Was hiding moral cowardice or self-preservation? Revelation hung in the air like smoke after a fire. Mark's tentative acceptance a fragile bridge over the chasm. But Emily's suspicions boiled over during a surprise visit, her car pulling up unannounced, forcing a confrontation that exposed every fracture. She burst in, eyes scanning, and caught Chelsea and me in a casual embrace. Nothing overt but enough to ignite the powder keg. "What the hell is going on here?" Emily demanded, her voice shrill with outrage. Mark stood frozen, caught between loyalties. The betrayal felt visceral, her intrusion a violation of our haven. Inside, my thoughts screamed, "This is who I am." Yet, fear clamped down, moral conflicts swirling. Defend our love or appease family? Chelsea stepped forward, chin high. "We're together, Emily. Deal with it." The room erupted. Emily's face twisted in disgust, hurling words like weapons. "This is unnatural. Mom and Dad will disown you." Societal prejudices poured out, echoes of church sermons and small-town gossip. Mark intervened. "Ease up, Em. It's not a big deal." His defense shocked, a turnaround from ignorance to ally. But the damage raged. Emily's accusations piercing deep, questioning our morality, our choices. Chelsea held firm, her internal resolve steeling. "No more hiding." I faltered, memories of childhood judgments flooding back. The pressure crushed, family bonds straining against personal truth. "You've been lying to us," Emily accused. Guilty as charged, but the lie was survival. The dilemma tore. Sacrifice family for authenticity, or suppress for peace. Mark confessed his knowledge, siding with us. "They're happy. Isn't that enough?" Emily turned on him. "You're enabling this." The betrayal shifted, him against her, our secret fracturing their remnants. Inside, guilt gnawed. We dragged him into this moral quagmire. Chelsea's hand in mine grounded me, a reminder of the love worth fighting for. The argument escalated, Emily threatening to out us to extended family. "Think about the kids, our cousins. What example are you setting?" Her words weaponized morality, society's lens distorting our bond into sin. Chelsea countered. "Love isn't a choice. Hiding was." The confrontation peaked, voices overlapping in chaos. I finally spoke, voice trembling. "If you can't accept us, leave." Emily stormed out, vowing disconnection. The silence after was deafening. Mark apologized. "I should have warned you." His growth evident, but the cost, lost sisterly bond, ached. Chelsea hugged me, her thoughts a mix of triumph and sorrow. We won a battle, but at what price? Waves of fallout followed. Family texts flooded, judgmental and pleading. Mom called, tears evident. "Is it true?" Confirming broke her. Societal norms clashing with maternal love. The internal torment intensified. Was coming out right or selfish? Friends divided, some supportive, others distant. Career worries loomed. My job in education, Chelsea's in corporate, prejudices lurking. Mark moved out soon after, thanking us. "You opened my eyes." His departure bittersweet, a sacrifice turned catalyst. Chelsea and I rebuilt, stronger yet scarred. The moral debates lingered. Choices made, damages paid. Healing came in fragments like puzzle pieces scattered by a storm. As Chelsea and I navigated the wreckage of exposure, family rifts deepened, with Emily cutting ties completely, her final email a venomous decree of disownment that left me reeling. But in that void, unexpected alliances formed. Mark reaching out regularly, his transformation a beacon amid the darkness. The first months post-confrontation were a gauntlet of emotional trials. Society's backlash manifested in subtle ways. Stares at the grocery store, colleagues' hushed conversations, even a demotion veiled as restructuring at work. Inside, I questioned every step. Was the truth worth this isolation? Chelsea's unwavering support anchored me, her own struggles mirroring mine. Lost friends, familial silence. "We chose us," she'd remind, but the cost tallied high, moral ambiguities clouding victory. Mark's calls became lifelines. Emily's coming around slowly, he'd say, his voice hopeful. His awakening inspired, a straight ally born from chaos. Yet betrayal's sting lingered. His initial intrusion the spark. The dilemma evolved. Forgive fully or guard hearts. Family pressure persisted through indirect channels. Cousins' messages pleading reconciliation, invoking shared history. Chelsea faced her own demons. The online confidence slip leading to a minor rumor mill. I should have been stronger, she'd confess in quiet nights. Her internal monologue revealed depths. Sacrifice for love meant enduring hurt, but awakening to self-worth. We attended therapy, unpacking layers of internalized shame, societal imprints that made hiding seem moral. A turning point came at a local pride event, our first public outing as a couple. Hands linked, we marched amid cheers, but anxiety spiked. Fears of violence, rejection. Mark joined unexpectedly, sign in hand. Love is love. His presence healed fractures, a choice that cost him Emily's wrath. The moral tapestry wove complex. His sacrifice mirrored ours, blurring right and wrong. Back home, reflections deepened. I'd stare at old photos, pondering paths not taken. Hiding might have preserved family, but at soul's expense. Chelsea's evolution shone, from withdrawn to advocate, speaking at groups about pressures on queer lives. Her decisions inspired, yet haunted by what-ifs. As time passed, tentative mends occurred. Mom reached out, voice soft. I don't understand, but I miss you. The conversation raw, exposing generational gaps, moral clashes. Acceptance crept slow, a testament to love's persistence against prejudice. Mark's full integration surprised, holidays with us defending against skeptics. But Emily remained distant, her absence a wound. The societal mirror reflected progress, yet stagnation. Laws advancing but hearts lagging. In quiet moments, Chelsea and I reaffirmed. Our love endured because we chose truth despite damages. Awakenings came hard-won, through confrontations and betrayals. Yet, as the dust settled, one question lingered, sparking endless debate. Was sacrificing family bonds for personal authenticity the right choice, or a selfish one that deepened divides?